Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kind Soup for the Soul. So good to see you all. I think we have a lot of new folks joining us today. So I would love to just take a minute to tell you a little bit about KindWorks and about this project in particular. So KindWorks is a nonprofit organization we started about 13 years ago. And our vision is simple yet profound. It's to inspire action for a kinder world. And we do this by organizing a range of activities. Basically, we want to make volunteering easy, fulfilling, and fun. And so we organize a range of activities from pre-COVID. It was setting up apartments for refugee families. We would mentor inmates at the local jail. We would cook meals using recovered food. So stuff Whole Foods and Panera and other stores would be getting rid of, would use fresh, nutritious, great products to make healthy meals and take them to homeless shelters in the neighborhood. So these are some of our projects. And when COVID happened, we needed to get creative and shift some of our the ways that we worked, as we couldn't meet in community to serve our community. So one of our projects that we came up with, Deb's great idea, is this making soup, a huge pot of soup. Who doesn't love soup, right? And there's such a need right now for food, for nourishment, for sustenance, for a pick-me-up, and these are all the things that soup provides. So every Saturday, as you're doing today at 5 o'clock, we come together from our kitchens, connect by Zoom. There are people who are connecting across the country now as they hear about the project and invite family and friends to join. And we make a big pot of soup together, and we ask someone to lead the session a little bit in terms of selecting a recipe and providing some guidance. And sometimes we have some amazing people leading our soup sessions like we do today. It is such a privilege and an honor to introduce a friend of mine, Omar, and his wife, Sofia, to our kitchens today. They, as many of you may know, are the owners, and Sofia is the chef of Aracosia, the various restaurants, Bistro Aracosia in DC, Aracosia in McLean, and the one in Springfield, Virginia. They've got 3 so far. It is certainly my favorite restaurant, bar none, in the DC area. I know many of you share that sentiment. We've heard such great feedback when we announced that Omar and Sofia would be joining us today. So many of you shared that you celebrate your birthdays and various occasions with them at their restaurants. So it is such a privilege to have them. And, you know, as we start cooking, I'll just ask a few questions, if it's okay, Omar, just to introduce you to our friends.
Of course. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And thank you so much for all the great words that you said about our restaurant. But it's not about our restaurant. It's about KindWorks, and you know what you do is above and beyond everything. You know, you bring out the best in everybody. You put us in a situation where righteousness has to come out. So, and you know, we feel really good about it. You know, during the pandemic and what have you, everyone went through a lot of pain and suffering. Everyone's going through it, right? So this is the time. This is the time. This new work that's coming, what you're doing is a blessing. We're here with you anytime, all the time. You know, whatever you want from us, we're here for you. That's it. Because we know what kind of a person you are as a person and as an organization. I mean, we see what you do. Jesus Christ. I mean, you inspire. That's what you do. So God bless you for that.
That's amazing.
Right. For us, it's just lentil soup, okay? But for you guys, it's above and beyond. So.
You're way too kind, Omar. You know, I think it just goes to show that we are all in this together, each of us with our respective talents and backgrounds. You know, we do what we can, and together we do a lot. And just to take this soup, for example, we've been cooking soup for the last 3 months now, and we cook enough to share with our families and feed our families, and then extra goes to shelters and food banks and neighbors in need and people who are sick, whoever needs a little soup pick-me-up. And just by doing this, gathering 30, 40, 50 of us via Zoom, 47 today, that's awesome. we've been able to donate over 2,000 quarts of soup.
Wow.
Which, you know, I think it's awesome, because what you have to see is behind each number, there's a person who is enjoying some nourishment and something that's been homemade and something that's been made with so much love infused in it. And that just moves us, as I know it moves you. So I think we'll just start cooking now. If you
Let's start.
tell us what to do.
So everybody, first of all, just a quick disclaimer, you know, we don't do this for a living. I got a little social anxiety. So even though it is a little lentil soup, it's not a big deal, but I'm about to pass out. But other than that, we're gonna be good to go, okay? So let's go. I'm just joking. All right, so what we're gonna do is this soup, I'm the translator here, okay? So what we're doing with this soup here, I think this soup is gonna be enough for about 15 to 20. 15 to 20 guests should be good enough for this. And for the 15 to 20 guests, we're gonna use about, what is that show there right there? A quarter cup of oil. Now you can use whatever you wish to use, okay? This is vegetable oil. You can use olive oil, whatever oil works for you. We're gonna toss it in, throw that in there a little bit, let that heat up. Okay. And you can talk too, Salma, you know, a little bit here and there. You got me?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm using olive oil. Hope that's fine.
Yeah, so you could use olive oil. We in Afghanistan, I don't even think we have olive oil in Afghanistan. We don't use olive oil that much. No. We eat a lot of olives, but not the olive oil.
So once it's hot.
So once it's hot, we're gonna toss in this
onions. It's like 2 medium onions. 2
medium onions chopped up.
Let's see how you slice them.
Yes, so it's chopped up, just chopped.
Okay.
Anyway, which you work. All we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of caramelize it a little bit. Oil is a little bit hot. Put the oil in there. Maybe Jibril can come and hold the. Yeah. Can you do that? I'm gonna move this camera around so we can see what's going on. If that's okay with us.
Sounds good.
And Omar, while the camera angle is getting perfected, a lot of people have wondered about the lentil soup recipe that doesn't use lentils. Can you speak about the different kinds of beans and peas and lentils?
Sure. Let me put
Thank
this
you.
right there for
Yes,
us.
and Omar, as we were speaking yesterday, Mung Beans, there is a run on Mung Beans in our area. One Whole Foods is out, Bethesda Co-op is out. Thank you for those huge bags. They are out. I feel like a dealer today, you know, people are coming to my doorstep for Mung Beans.
Whenever you're out, I can restash you. Whatever.
The Indian market on Old Georgetown Road asked if there was a special recipe this week because so many people came in for the mung beans, and I said yes. We're all making soup tonight to donate. God. So it was wonderful. They were very happy.
Excellent. More pressure. All right. So here we go. The question was, what kind of a lentil soup is this that there's no lentil in there? So in Afghanistan, what we have is, you know, just like, for example, pumpkin. We have pumpkin there. We have butternut squash. We have all of the things there. But we just call it kadu, which we don't like break it down. So to us, in Afghanistan, like mosh, which is what we use. As a matter of fact, this soup is called a mashawa, which is a combination of a bunch of different types of legumes, I guess, right?
We use 2 types.
Yeah, 2 types. You can use whatever you wish, but for me, I'll be completely honest and straightforward with you. Up until, what was it, 2 days ago? 3 days ago? I wasn't even aware that it gets broken down into that much detail. So you have the mung beans in there.
Yeah.
You have the split peas in there.
Green split peas.
Green split peas.
And chickpeas.
Chickpeas.
And that's it.
And that's it. Now you can put whatever you want. Some people will put some beans in there. Some people will put the yellow split peas in there. But it's all up to you on what you would wish to do. The trick to this is soaking all the lentils in advance. The longer you soak it, the quicker the soup gets ready. So
So Omar, I always have chickpeas in the pantry, so I never double checked for this recipe because I figured I'd have so many, but I only had one. So what other bean? I have every other variety of bean. Is there something else I can add as the second?
you can, yeah, you can add the kidney beans. You can add the black beans. Sometimes they put the black beans. You can put the.
Yeah. Do you have any others? The white bean?
Yeah, I have cannellini beans.
You can put that
You
in.
can put that in. It's just about what you would wish to put in there.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's, but for us, it's gonna be the main essence in this is gonna be the, I think the mung beans is gonna,
Because it's called mashallah.
yeah, it's called moshawa, and mosh is mung beans for us, which we translated to lentil.
Wait, mosh is what? Green?
Mosh for us means lentil, but the mosh specifically is the mung bean
Okay.
also. Mosh means, also means a color, moshi, they say green,
Right.
which means like a,
It's like an olive.
like an olive green color. So we got the onions. They still haven't colored up yet. And I'm gonna push, should I stop bringing it here? Or it's not there yet.
No, color's not there.
The color is not there yet. But the thing with onion, when you, in Afghan food and pretty much everything that we make, with the majority of the dishes, what we do is we always saute onions. There's something about that.
Mhm.
There's, you know, the smell of it, the way it sweats, the way, it's like a cleanser, you know, it's like purified. I was upstairs just before this whole, before we started this thing, I was trying to calm myself down. You know, I told you I have social anxiety, so I was meditating and listening to Alan Watts, you know, on how to calm your mind down. And the smell, she's Sophia is making for dinner tonight palau with veal shank. And she had on this one, I'll show you this one as well. This is for us. The onions sauteed. And my meditation just became like to the next level. So so I realized that, you know, this is it's good. And I came down and it felt good. It felt really good. So we got the onions going here like that. All right.
Not there yet.
Not there yet. And the onions just need to come like a like kind of like a caramel,
Like a golden color.
like a golden color.
Okay.
So in Afghan cuisine, mostly what we do is we get the color of our dishes on the from the onion.
Mhm.
Most of like our rice. Have you had our palau?
Of course.
That one. What we do is we saute the onions until it becomes really, really dark.
Right.
And then that's where the color, the dark palau comes from. So if you want it a little bit lighter, the colors, don't saute it that much.
So for the soup, should it be a light brown?
The
or-
soup has got to be lighter, yes. So I can give, check it a little example on this one that you got.
Sure.
I'm going to show you an example that we have cooking for dinner here for us on
Yeah.
onions that are sauteed more. And this is veal shanks that are sauteed in aurohan, we call it. Afghan cooking always starts with oil and the onions. Okay, so I'm going to show you what color on this dish that onions has picked up. And I'm going to pull this like this. Can we see? Deg malum besha. I got it. Can you see the deg malum besha?
Yeah.
Deja?
Mhm.
You can see the pot right here. Can we see this pot?
Yes.
So you see the color on that one?
Gosh.
That's brown.
That
That's
looks
color is from
delicious.
onion, from sauteing the onion. So it's a dark brown. Then we add a little bit of either veal or chicken stock. And then, so basically that's just cooking in that onion water right there, pretty much.
Could you point it down a little more? I couldn't quite see.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Give me one second. Of course. Can you see, is the pot showing for you?
Yes.
Can you see it? Can we see it?
Oh, now I see it.
Do you see that? That's the color of the onion. You don't want for the soup to become that color. It's all right. So we're getting to the color that we need to be for the, here, I'm gonna bring the camera over here. All right, there it is.
Should it be on medium? Should we have it on
Yeah.
medium? heat
Yes,
to
right
get that
there.
color?
It's right, this is where the color is, right?
Yes, the color, it should be to hot to medium hot.
The heat should be hot to medium hot,
Yeah.
and the color is getting there, right?
Yes.
All right, so now the color is getting there. Aha, there you go.
Before you put your garlic in, can you show me how thick you sliced your garlic?
There is the garlic right there. They're sliced.
Like this. Do you see them?
You could see that, right?
No, but where's the camera?
It's the black circle, that's really deep.
Right here.
Okay, so
Okay. It's pretty thick. So, Omar and Sophia, people are wondering if they could mince their garlic, or for this
Yes,
recipe, do you really want it thick?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, mincing the garlic. Let me say so.
No, put it down a little. So I think
Just
we
hold
should show the onions. The colors reach, so I don't want it to get any darker.
All right. Here. So the colors you gotta put what you gotta. So these.
So-
You said the black dot right there.
So this is,
Here, just let me get my glasses so I can see.
so this is what the onions are supposed to look like.
Can we see that?
Yes.
All right. Now she's gonna.
Yep.
I'm gonna toss in the garlic. And give it a stir.
We can see that, right?
Yes.
You can see that.
And then on this one, you gotta
Okay.
be really quick before the
So
onions
we
change.
have the spices: turmeric, black pepper, salt. Give that a swirl. Okay. We're gonna add water.
You want to make sure that the onion doesn't change color on you that there, because at one point it starts really changing really quickly. There you go.
So we're gonna let this kind of heat up a little so the onion softens up.
All right, now I'm gonna push this back over here this way for us. Oops. Seis.
While the water's softening up the onions, somebody's asking about having soaked their peas and mung beans and not all the water got absorbed. So this group has not done a lot of soaking of beans. Do you guys want to just teach us a tiny bit about the process and the different ways that we need to go about doing soaking of beans before cooking with them?
So the soaking helps soften the beans, so that way it's easier to cook. So it doesn't need to absorb the water. So we're just trying to soften it.
We're just trying to soften it and clean
Then
it
you
up.
can just drain it and then put the beans in the soup. I don't know if they heard anything.
We heard that, right? Yeah, yes.
So now we're gonna put the beans in here.
All of
And the
them, right?
pot, yes.
I just want to be clear, we got 2 tablespoons of black pepper. We got lots of black pepper going on, right?
Yes,
Okay, let's make it sure.
2 tablespoons.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you add the beans in here, we're gonna add the rest of the water.
Where are the glasses? Am I on?
Yes. Put the water in.
So how many cups of water?
20 cups.
20 cups of water for this. There we go. All right. So
And
I'm gonna.
then we're gonna add the chickpeas as well. Or garbanzo beans.
What happened? Did we?
No, I think. Let's see.
Okay.
And we're just gonna,
Salma, are you there?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
here.
Okay. Just want to make sure we didn't get cut
So
off.
yeah, I'm here. I'm still chopping my garlic, so
Okay.
I'm, a few steps behind you.
No problem. So we added all the beans and everything is in there. And now we're just gonna let this sit and heat up and come to a boil.
Come to a boil and cover it and let the beans soften up.
Let the bean. Okay. Now while she's doing that, now we have to get the yogurt ready. And I'll get that going. There we are.
What about the peppers? Should they be diced and in there already?
No, that's gonna be the last step. Once the lentils and the mung beans, everything is soft, then that would be the final, like the last 10 minutes that we're gonna put that in there with the dill.
So you add yogurt when you eat this soup?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and prepare the yogurt while we're doing, I'll show how we do that.
When you put the water in for the bean, did you use the water that you soaked the beans in, or did you drain it and use all fresh water?
I used fresh water, drain the one, yes.
Okay, thanks.
I'll bring it back.
Is there any special type of salt that you use, or just kosher salt, table
You
salt?
can use whatever you have, kosher salt, table salt, whatever you choose to use.
Yeah, we use regular kosher salt we use, right?
Well, I use table salt. Yeah.
All right, so the yogurt, I'm gonna open it up. You can use any type of yogurt for this. We're using Greek yogurt on this one because of the thicker, I think the one that works well is the Labna, is a good yogurt. But we're gonna use a basic yogurt. You have to whip this yogurt really well.
Excuse me, I have a question. We didn't see yogurt in the recipe.
Right.
Yeah, this is
Neither
not,
did
no.
I.
No, there is no, this is just, because it's a vegan dish. If you, at the end, if some people, we eat yogurt with everything. We just make a garlic yogurt, we put it on the side, and then if you want, you can drizzle some on top. For the guests that are like vegetarian that want to have a little, something with a little bit yogurt, so this is more of like a drizzle garnish that will be finished for the guests that like yogurt. That's all. Well, I put yogurt in for myself, and most of our guests they have it with yogurt. Some of the guests don't want it with yogurt, so we don't put the yogurt in there. We just finish it off, and then as the lentils are finished, and if some guests want yogurt, they'll put it on there. That's all.
It's not part of the recipe. It's not part of the recipe. It's just a little
Alright.
extra you get because Omar and Sofia are giving us a little extra here today.
Yeah, I just for us we have yogurt with everything pretty much, and it just cools it down because as you're taking it out, it's so hot, and you just drizzle a little bit of it and move it around, and with a little bit of a garlic in that yogurt, it just it brings it somewhere else. But you don't have to put the yogurt in. Without the yogurt, it's vegan. And I guess once you add that, it becomes a vegetarian. Now, some people, we also, in our restaurant, we serve this with ground beef as well, too. So it's, you can have it with, as a vegan, as a vegetarian, or as a regular, I guess, whatever they would call it, with the meat as well, too. If you were gonna make it with the ground beef, then that has a complete different process. You'd have to toss the ground beef in there first and cook it and all that kind of stuff. But this is the vegan version. So we'll leave the yogurt to the side because it wasn't on the recipe, and most of the people that are watching.
No, tell us how to make it. Tell us how to make it.
So just the yogurt. I mean, I'll do it just to kill some time. By the time this thing heats up, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and whip up some yogurt here for us.
We love recipes that are flexible and forgiving. You can
Okay.
use this, you can use that. You didn't have this, you use that. It'll all be fine. Those are the
That's
best
it.
recipes.
You can, as long as the most important recipe is going to be, and in my opinion, I think is the passion and the how much love someone puts in there, and the desire for flavor and all that kind of stuff. If one is doing anything, I think in anything in life is like that. If you're doing something because you feel you have to do it, I just feel you shouldn't even do it at all. You're either gonna want to do something or you don't want to. We're not in that state in life anymore to be forced into doing something we want to do. And everybody's like that now. Now, if you don't want to do something, don't do it. And And when you do want to do something, it just comes out better. I just feel, you know?
Excuse me, I'd like to add something. For anyone who does put yogurt into the recipe and is donating the yogurt, make sure you write on your label that when they reheat the soup, they should not bring it to a boil. I've read that you're not supposed to boil it once the yogurt is in there. It can be heated like in a microwave, but don't take it up to boiling.
Right,
So,
right, because
thank you, Marge. I think that the idea is that if anybody wants to serve their own family soup tonight and make the yogurt, it will be delicious. But let's not add this to the recipe because we want all of our soups delivered frozen.
All
Okay?
right, there, yes.
Perfect.
We'll
Thank
keep
you
that
so
on.
much.
Perfect, perfect. You just say, there you go. All right, so we're gonna do that. Now I'm gonna bring the camera here.
It hasn't boiled.
It hasn't boiled yet. The smell of turmeric. The main essence in this dish, I would say that the main essence in this dish is going to be the smell of dill. So once that dill comes in, and once you're cooking it, and once you see it, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Once that goes in there, it's a beautiful dill. Just has this, I don't know, it's amazing thing that's just wonderful. So you got that, and then anybody any questions so far?
Actually, yeah, there's a question in the chat. Somebody would like to hear from both of you. What, if they haven't yet been to one of your fabulous restaurants, what should they order? Because they're going now.
Are they? Well, whatever. If it's going to depend. If they're a vegetarian, you know, we have a pretty large vegetarian menu. As a matter of fact, you know, we were recognized as being one of the better vegetarian restaurants. So that's, we have a big if they're vegan. So if it's a vegetarian, I would recommend the kabuli combination platter, because you get a combination of the kadu, which is our pumpkin. You get a combination of our sabzi, which is the greens. The sabzi is amazing because it has spinach, kale, collard greens, mustard greens, turnip leaves, fenugreek, and dill all stewed together. You'll get that. You'll get the potato borani, which is the roasted potatoes, and the eggplant borani, the roasted eggplant, with the rice that comes with it is the kabuli rice, which is the seasoned basmati tossed in with some julienne carrots and raisins infused with a hint of cardamom. It's a beautiful dish for the vegetarian. For the vegans, we have the mushroom kebab is doing really well. Most of our guests like the mushroom kebab. We have the lentil soup as well for the vegan. So, and pretty much that vegetarian, the kabuli combination platter, all our vegetarian dishes can be converted to vegan by what? Just holding the yogurt. So, and that's it. And then as if the person that's asking, if they're a meat eater, I would recommend if they're going to be in the mood for something that's going to come off of the grill, like a kebab, our Bistro signature is really good. You get we use actually real lamb. It's milk-fed lamb. You get the lamb chop, the rib cut, and the tenderloin. And that's going to come with some kabuli rice with a side of eggplant. So if they're going to be in the mood for something that's going to come off the grill, the Bistro signature. And if they're going to be in the mood for something that's going to be slow cooked, like this veal that we're cooking over here, I would recommend, you know, if they like veal, to do like a veal, the veal shank with the sabzi. It's really good. Or the mohuli is really good. If they like spicy, it's a lamb shank, slow cooked with and a tomato-based sauce with a little hint of garam masala, and with eggplant, with some Thai chili peppers, served on a bed of a super basmati rice. It's a really good dish, really good dish. So, you know, they'll find something. Our servers over there, or our food is fairly new to everybody. We have some poor guests. I feel bad for them. I mean, they're so kind, they're so nice. You see the way they're emailing, like, excuse me for my ignorance. And I'm like thinking, it's not you. I mean, nobody knows what a korma is. We just forgot to put down, we're assuming that that everybody knows this. We just forgot to put down the description of what a korma is. So there's going to be a lot of stuff there that a lot of people are not probably aware of what's going on, because we brought some of the dishes that are some of the classical dishes that a lot of people didn't bring, like the stews and the tushperas and like these kind of dishes. So it's kind of foreign to some people still, but our servers, our staff, They're so wonderful. They're all trained. They're very aware of this. And we made them aware of this based on some of the emails that we got. So whenever something happens like that, that it's a mistake on our end, we try to go ahead and communicate to the staff to, guys, be aware of something like this. You know, some people, you know, you're seeing it every day here. You see sabzi every day, every day, every day, every day. But that poor guest that's coming for the first time, you know, they're gonna ask you, what is a sabzi? You can't, you know, you have to explain to them, right? So whoever that's asking any questions, once you go in there, our servers will guide you in the right direction. I hope.
Omar?
Yes.
Are the 20 cups of water in the soup now?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. So what I wanted to do as it's cooking and we have a few minutes to chat, I wanted to just, you see,
Hi, Ara.
Hi, Omar.
How are
How are
you?
you?
Good. Nice haircut.
he's adding the water. So
I'm the water guy.
Yeah, good.
if I could ask our guests to just mute for a few minutes, because I thought it would be fun to introduce Omar and Sofia to all of you. They have such an interesting story to share about where they come from and how they got to do what they're doing now. And I would love for them to share it and for us to get to know them a little bit better beyond their amazing food and their amazing restaurants, just as people and as friends and certainly as kind workers. So if you wouldn't mind, Omar, to share a little bit about your background. I think you were born in Afghanistan and moved first to Germany and then to the US.
So yeah, we were born we were both born in Afghanistan. We didn't meet in Afghanistan. We met here, but I left Afghanistan just when the war with the Soviets were starting. I don't want to get too political here, but we had to leave. So 1979, we left and we were refugees in Germany. And from 1979 till 1982, I was young. We were in Germany, and then we were sponsored here by a church in Kensington, Maryland. Wonderful people. I don't remember them too. I was young. And that's how we ended up in the States in 1982. And, you know, one of the main reasons that we opened up the restaurant is, well, you know, we had a pretty decent life back home in Afghanistan and all that kind of stuff. We went through a lot of suffering here, which pretty much anybody does when they leave their home and, you know. So what we did is we came to a point in life where working, and we would go out a little bit here and eat. And we just felt that, you know, maybe if we get involved a little bit, well, the main reason would be that I don't have to work for anybody and I can just, you know, do my own job and not to answer to anybody. But the other reason was that if we get involved a little bit with Afghan cuisine, if we could just bring it, just do a little bit more justice to our culture and to our cuisine by bringing some of the dishes that some of the other wonderful Afghan restaurant owners probably didn't bring to the table, that they missed or what have you and so forth. And keep in mind the cuisine in Afghanistan, depending on where you're coming from, which part of Afghanistan you're coming from, it's going to completely be a little bit different. So we felt that there was a little bit of an opening to bring this other end of the Afghan cuisine, which were the kormas and which are the tushperas and stuff like the lentil soups and the mashawas and the ashes and all that kind of stuff. Not to just be plain, not to just, you know, focus on the grilled meats like kebabs and what. Kebabs are great. We eat a lot of kebabs in Afghanistan, but that's not the only thing that we eat. So we said that, and we saw that opening, and, you know, we felt as though that every, you know, ethnic group that came into the United States as refugees and what have you, they brought you know, strong identities of where they come from to the table, literally to the table. I mean, and I felt as though we weren't pushing it strong enough, you know? So I said, let's go ahead. My mother had the recipes. When we first opened up our Afghan bistro in Springfield, Virginia, I remember my mother.
When was that, Omar? When was your first restaurant?
It was 2016, 2015. 2015, we opened it up. And that was the restaurant that when we first opened up, we were excited. My mother was working with us. Oh my God. And so, you know, And we didn't know what we were doing. You know, she was cooking one dish at a time. You know, like, all right, here, I made the palau. Okay, great. Well, what about the 15 other, you know, the day's almost over.
Wow.
So by the time, you know, I had to kind of like mold her into that. And then it wasn't good for her. It wasn't that healthy. So, you know, she didn't like it that much, but she came and she brought all these recipes, and the way she, you know, the way she would cook is different than the way we're cooking right now, meaning that the recipes and everything is the same, but just the, you know, one dish at a time we can't do to feed, you know, we're gonna have 200 people tonight, and, you know, mom's making, you know, eggplant. Well, what about the 30 other dishes we have on the menu? Come on, let's go. So, you know, she came to a point where she stayed with us until we got the business going, until we got, you know, recognized a little bit and what have you and so forth. And then she said, okay, my job is done. You guys know what's going on. You have all the recipes. And she still comes, I would say, well, once a week or something like that, just to make sure everything's okay. She'll come up with the special, and she's like, I made this, and we'll try it. And if it's good, we'll put it on the menu. And if it's something that, you know, that she's just excited about it and nobody else is, we won't put it on the menu. So
these are mom's recipes.
These are mom's recipes.
Yeah.
Mom's recipes. Yes.
Amazing.
She in our culture, we don't say like, you know, this person is a good cook or a good chef. We say they have tasty hands. This the mazadar.
I love it.
Yeah, so she has tasty hands, but she's not gonna sit and knead some plant onions for you, or, you know, whatever the chefs do and stuff like that. So there's a lot of, you know, when she cooks.
How do you say that in Farsi or?
This the mazadar.
Say it again.
This means hand, dast, and mazadar. Mazadar means something with a lot of flavor. Yes. So she has a good hand. As a matter of fact, in our family, everybody's hand is good. My father, amazing hand. You know, I mean, sometimes the hand comes down to the spice. You don't have to like, you know, a pinch of this, just go, boom, boom. You know, and that's what makes it flavorful sometimes. So,
Omar,
but in the restaurant, we can't do that. So,
Omar, I think you and Sofia have come up with the next name for your restaurant, for the next restaurant, Daste Mazadar.
Wow, that's, yeah.
Daste Mazadar would be a great name.
Like that, yes. But there's I mean, that's fine. And there's an Afghan restaurant in where is it? In Fairfax? In Fairfax, that they have that name, Mazadar. Yes, but they don't have this part, the hand part. They just have the tasty part now.
No, the tasty hands is what we do.
I love the idea, tasty hands.
Tasty hands, yes. So, you know, sometimes with her, she's got a good flavor, this and that, but, you know, with chefs, with us coming into the restaurant business, we learned that it's not just about creating one good dish that tastes amazing. You know, you have to consistently create that all the time, every day, so when that guest comes in, you know, that they get the same flavor that they had the last time. I'll give you a funny story of my brother. When we first opened up Afghan Bistro, you know, he was having a problem with the grill person. He's like, he's not doing it right, this and that. I'm like, you know, he's cooking for 60 people at one time. You can't. The restaurant dies down. There's nobody there. He goes into the kitchen and he comes with this kebab. He's like, this is how a kebab is supposed to be. You know, I was like, yeah, but your whole focus was just on that one piece of kebab. This guy has focus on 72 orders right now. So the trick is to keep it like that, while maintaining, you know, the consistency and the flow of that's going on in the kitchen. So we learned this as it was happening.
Exactly.
We weren't even expecting that, like stuff like that.
That's what I wanted to ask you, but, you know, almost from the beginning, it seems like you have had amazing success with your first restaurant. People started coming in, appreciating the food. Then with Bistro Aracosia, I mean, it was impossible to get a reservation when you first arrived. I had to text you, you know, personally. and now with McLean. So it must be such an amazing surprise and wonderful feeling to,
you know, it's above and beyond. You know, when we opened up the Afghan Bistro, as we were making the decision, I recall every night going and just kind of like, not praying or anything like that, but just asking God to just put me in a situation where I don't have to submit to anybody else, where I don't have to be, where I have to work for somebody, which I was doing for 20 years. I couldn't take it anymore. And put me in a situation where we have a little bit something coming in so that my wife and I can maybe once or twice a month go out for dinner, and maybe once a year or once every 2 years, me and my family can go on a vacation. This is all we wanted, this is all we wanted. So be careful of what you want, because God will give you, he'll throw it at you in multiples at you. So it's above and beyond what we wanted. We're so grateful. We're humbled. I don't even know how to react in front of people anymore. It's like, we're lost.
Well, we are so grateful that you have introduced us to this amazing cooking, to your family's amazing cooking. And I'm going to just embarrass you for a minute, but I have to. So bear with me. I just want to share with our friends on the call that, Omar and Sofia, they have such huge, generous, kind, giving hearts. And just to share two examples that we know of personally at KindWorks, when we were setting up apartments for refugee families, we would set up as if we were creating our own home with every last detail, from beautiful paintings on the wall to cushions on the sofa and blankets and toys. And the last thing we would do is make a homemade meal from the family's country of origin. And we would put it in the fridge so that the first taste for this family would feel familiar and nurturing, and they'd feel at home in their new home. And so oftentimes our families were coming from Afghanistan, and oftentimes I went to Omar and said, would you be able to make this meal, this welcome meal for our Afghan families? And I mean, he didn't hesitate for a second. He's like, why didn't you ask me sooner? And he was thanking me for the privilege of doing that, for sharing in our blessings. So that's just one small example. And one other is that when this pandemic started a year ago, I remember it so clearly. Omar called me and said, Salma, I need to do something. I need to give back. I need to share what we have been blessed with. And will you help me? And will KindWorks help me find opportunities to cook and serve people in need? So we did. We connected him with a few things. And, most people perhaps would do it for a few weeks, maybe a few months. Omar and Sofia and Aracosia have been doing it to this day. They are feeding at least 50 people a day. They do it quietly, so it's between us. But that's just an example of their heart, and we're grateful for that.
I'm grateful for you.
You and Sofia and the whole Aracosia family, you are so much a part of our KindWorks family. We are blessed, really.
Thank you, Salma. Salma, my question would be, what other thing could one do other than, what we've done is nothing, to be honest with you. We came in here without anything into this country. Okay, complete strangers. They took us in. They sheltered us. They fed us. They put comfort in us. They gave us peace. They gave us hope. They gave us everything. Which human being today can turn around and can still be, without looking back and saying, hold on a second. As a child, I came in here. I got raised in this country with nothing but love and acceptance. Not one day did somebody tell me, go back to your country. Not one. I don't know what a lot of the people that they talk about these I don't understand it, to be honest with you. So for me, as a Muslim, as an Afghan, it's what we need to do as Muslims. What we need to do is we need to raise the flag, raise the American flag, raise the flag of hope, and in our homes here. That's what our Prophet would want us to do. You don't go and someone does something for you and you expect them to do it. We were taught as young that if someone does something to you, you hold the honor for them. You show them. I feel as though as many Afghans or as many Muslims or as many refugees that are here, every single household, every single Afghan household is an Afghan embassy. Okay, they have an opportunity right now to prove, we all have an opportunity right now to prove, to show our gratitude on what people did for us and this and that. You know, this is the way it's supposed to be, I feel as though. You know, Islam is the religion of surrender, you know, it's the religion of submission. How can I not do that? You know, I need to surrender to what people have done to me. So if we all need to surrender ourselves, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
yes.
The meaning of it. Forget about all these things that people say. You have to do this. You have to do this. You don't eat this. Don't do that. Just listen to the meaning of it.
Yeah.
Surrender.
Yeah.
And then look at the meaning of the word Muslim. It means one who has submitted. That's it. Don't look at I need this or how come this person did this. Come and show the beauty that our religion, our true religion. We're all going to come to the same area, except one is going to go through it suffering, and then they're going to wake up and realize, and then the other one's going to dance through it, and then realize that there was no suffering. So we need to dance through life, you know?
Yes.
That's all.
Thank you for that inspiration and for your philosophy of life. It's amazing.
Omar, I was going to say, Omar, I was feeling pretty grumpy today, generally, and I now feel uplifted. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. You know, we just have to enjoy life. I mean, that's all it is. You know, you got, like I was listening to Alan Watts earlier. And in that speech, he says, what he says is, you got people that are sitting and they're like trying to work. You know, it's like you have to take life like music. You don't work music, you play music. So if you're cooking food, you're playing with food. If you're at the restaurant, you're playing at the restaurant. If we could just turn life into a big play, like a music that it is, that's where all the problems go away. One thing I realized in the restaurant business during the pandemic, that the restaurant business is a beautiful business. The only thing that makes owners suffer, okay, is just the thought. It's a financial thought. If we can eliminate those money and stuff, it's the most beautiful business. You're having fun, you're running around, you're talking to people, this and that. So just take it away and everything comes back at you, I think.
Thank you, Omar. I am just turning back to the soup for a second.
Let's go to the soup here. I'm going to show you what the soup looks like.
How are we doing? Is yours boiling?
Ours is boiling.
Okay. Mine hasn't yet come to a boil. So we just continue letting it cook?
Let it boil. Yours hasn't come to a boil yet, has it?
Not yet, because I added the water a little bit later than you did.
Okay. Yeah, let that boil. And then you have to keep on checking to see it when it gets soft, the lentils. Ours is almost there.
So someone had a question whether to skim off the foam. I don't see foam on yours, but mine has foam and some other people wondering.
You can skim it off.
You
I
can,
just let it cook.
We just let it cook, or you could skim it off.
And a question on the dill, should it be chopped on the stem or off of the stem?
On the stem.
On the stem. Wow, these are some great questions.
And we haven't added the pepper yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
No, that's going to be the last 10 minutes.
The last 10 minutes is when the pepper gets added.
Okay, there's another question about the yogurt. People would like to see how you serve the soup with yogurt. We realize we're not doing it for the freezing part.
Sure.
Just for our.
Sure. So the yogurt will just be very basic. You just take a little yogurt and you just whip up the yogurt. And what we do is we put a little garlic in the yogurt and a little bit dill. And then as the soup is finished, what we do is we actually serve the yogurt on the table, and whoever wants to put it on there as like a dollop of it.
Right.
Like
so
a dollop.
A garlic, maybe a little salt and pepper.
Yes, that's it. No pepper, just some salt, and if you want, some people put the dill in there, and some people put mint, dry mint.
Is that the green sauce that's on the table, the 4 sauces on the table, or is that different?
No, those are different. That's what is that? One is the chutney, the cilantro-based chutney. Then you have the mango one on the table, right? The sweet and spicy one.
Yeah.
You have the red pepper and caraway one, and you have the avocado and yogurt. No, that's yes. No.
Oh, it's the avocado one.
Avocado and yogurt. Yes.
Mild one.
That's the mild one. Yes. So that's.
Can I add 2 favorite dishes for first timers? The chicken lawang is a lovely, delicate yogurt and cilantro based, I think. Chicken dish, really delicate and delicious. And I call them the little pillows of heaven, the little fried triangles with leek potato.
Yeah, the bolognese, the turnovers, yes.
Yeah, and your lovely niece was the waitress when we first went for lunch once, and she said that the lamb mogli was your mother's recipe. And it sounds like many of the recipes are your mother's recipe, but that was my first taste. And we ate there every chance we could for the first year. Someone said, do you want to go out to dinner? We said, have you tried Bistro Aracosia?
Thank you so much. Wow. It's so humbling to hear all of this stuff. It's amazing. You know, it's just more, you know, it's just more validation that you're living in a beautiful world. That's all.
Well, and it tastes like someone made it at home with love, but even more elevated. So that's why we keep coming back. We got carry out for my birthday a week ago. So
a week ago, happy birthday to you, belated, happy belated birthday. Oh my. So I just want to, you know, like I said, we're so grateful for everything. And whoever, I don't know how, Salma, I don't know how you could do this. If I can ask you a quick question. Whoever's on this, you said there's 47 guests, right, Salma?
Yes.
So I want to, as a guest of mine, all the 47 people that are watching, I'd like to invite them as my guests to our restaurants, either in McLean or in DC. Just if they could just shoot it like a text or email, so we know we could make it special. It'll be my guest. Everybody will be on me. So I just as like, you know, we want to play, so we could play, right? So we can enjoy life. That's all. Let's take everything else out.
You guys are awesome, amazing. Mashallah.
Okay. No,
it would be our
we
pleasure.
have 47 guests watching on a Saturday night. They're giving us 1 hour. They're giving you 1 hour. I mean, this is, you know, and on top of that, not just that, they're, you know, everyone's trying to do charity and help. It's just becoming a beautiful world. So.
Mine's ready. This is what it needs to look like going towards.
Okay, so I'm going to show you what the lentils need to look like. Okay.
Yep.
You gotta give it a little bit more. No. No. Ready?
Yeah, I think that's right, because then you get the money.
Okay. Oh yeah. So the lentils are, I'm going to show you what it looks like now. She's going to start adding the other stuff. This one is almost ready. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Where's it? I got it right there. No.
So this is the mung beans. You could see how they've kind of swelled up. And then the split piece, you can use your fingers and you can crush them like that. Mung beans as well.
Should they feel mushy or should they have some solidity to them?
Not that mushy, because then we're gonna add the dill and we're going to add the peppers and then let it cook for another about 10-15 minutes.
But it should get mushy after the 10-15 minutes. But right now it should be a little solid.
Great, thank you.
All right, let's put this back here.
Omar, I know your kids also help you in the various restaurants. How many kids do you have?
So I have we have five kids, 3 daughters. The oldest ones are my 3 daughters, and then we have 2 sons. My son, 18 years old almost, and then you have my 9-year-old. My oldest daughter is 23. The next one after that is 22. And then you have the 20-year-olds line up. So 5 children.
Mashallah. Amazing.
Yes. They're great. Kids are wonderful, you know. They help you. I mean, my kids are running the restaurants, you know. It's Taliha, you've met her in DC. She runs the DC location. And I mean, she helps with pretty much everything. I'm very proud of her. Iman, my other daughter, helps out with Hassan, our general manager, and my partner in our McLean location. So it's good. We try to just let them be and become who they're supposed to become, and they're doing fine. They're learning a lot in the restaurant business. In the restaurant business, you learn a lot. With dealing with so many people, so good for them. I'm happy for them. All right, so she's adding the dill now.
The dill and the pepper.
Let's go to bring the camera here. This is it. Hold on.
Sophia, do you add the stems as well?
Yes, just can you see like how I chop them up?
Yes.
You can chop the stems and add them also.
Okay.
A lot of dill.
And the peppers, I just slice them. You can dice them, whatever you choose.
Okay.
Sophia and Omar, I know that you're too busy and social and filled with social anxiety, Omar, but I want to read to you that somebody wrote in the chat that you guys don't look old enough to have a 23-year-old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do an X-ray and you'll see. So trust me, we're old. Well, she may not be, but yeah, we're Well, thank you. That's a very nice compliment. We married young. The weird thing is that if we were in Afghanistan, we would have never met. Just so that you can understand the culture just a little bit more. Over here, it would be taboo talking about stuff like this in America. Ethnicities and what have you. But back home, it's very kind of like common. I'm a Pashtun from the ethnic group, and she's a Tajik. So right now, the whole thing in Afghanistan that's going on is, the civil wars and everything. So these people, they really don't like each other for some reason. I have no idea. Her and I, if we can get together and bring 5 beautiful children that are half Tajik, half Uzbek, where's the Uzbek? I mean, half Pashtun, great. But back home, it wouldn't happen. So this is another great thing that we came here.
So Omar, we have a few minutes left. Any last thoughts on what we should do with our soup? And I wanted to just ask one other question.
Of course.
This is what your final product should look like.
Did you put the dill in there, Salma?
I did. I put the dill and the peppers. It's coming together beautifully.
You smell the dill? Yeah, once that boiling comes and it thickens up a little bit, make sure your salt levels, everything's. Now, what I do for myself, again, it's not part of the recipe. I put a ton of Thai chili peppers in there. Oh. It tastes so good. It tastes so good when you spice it up.
So Omar, I just wanted to ask you, one of the most beautiful aspects of our culture from Afghanistan and from Pakistan, just South Asian culture in general, is hospitality and a real sense of generosity when you're serving people. I mean, it's clear from listening to you and certainly from your gesture that you shared with all of us today. But I wonder if you can just say 1 or 2 words about that aspect of our culture, the hospitality, especially when it comes to food.
Afghan hospitality is something that's, it's like, let me fix this camera here. It's like gone into the fiber of that country. It's so weird because it's known to be a hospitable country, but I don't understand why they're fighting. But yeah, Afghans, the Pashtuns, they live by codes. They say that you can go and God forbid, kill a family member of someone's household. And if they come to your door and, to take revenge, you can ask for hospitality. And when you ask for that, the law itself, the code, the tribal codes, they have to abide by it because the tribe will get up against that person that came for vengeance. So, hospitality is part of the culture from if you come to my house, okay, and if you say to me, Omar, I like your fridge, without you even knowing about it, there's going to be a push from my back and side of me. I got to give her this fridge.
Yes.
How are we going to do this? You're not even going to know anything.
It's true.
Tomorrow you'll wake up in your house and the fridge is going to be, you're going to be like, what happened?
It's so true.
That's just the way it is. We'll take our clothes off our back if someone says, I've this, I had some of the us, we're used to here, we don't do that much. I'm not gonna take my shoes off at a party or somebody, you like my shoes, take it. We're at a party at one of my friend's house about 2.5 years ago. And just poor one of these guys that just came from Afghanistan, full of hospitality. And one of my friends came and said, I like your shoes and I like your jacket. I swear to you, I promise you, the guy went into the bathroom quietly. He came back barefoot, no jacket, and put the thing in the bag. Like, how are you gonna go home? I was like, no, I can't. And we were like begging him, take it. He's like, no, I can't anymore. I can't. He liked it. That's it. It's over.
So true. It's
So that's
true.
just the way it is. If the Afghan has a little grain, some raisins or almonds in their house, nothing else, and a guest comes, they're gonna bring whatever they have in their house and put it right in front of that person. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's very, very true. And we cannot thank you enough, Omar and Sofia, for sharing your hospitality with us, your generosity, for sharing this recipe and all your stories. We will see you again at Aracosia for sure. Take a look at our faces. We will absolutely be there, and really look forward to continuing this conversation. We could go on for hours just hearing your wonderful stories. But
it'll be a pleasure to have everybody, like I said, one more time, once again, everybody's my guest into our home. Just come. I don't know how we can do this, but just come and have dinner or whatever on us. And your lentil soup is coming along. Once it finishes, it's cooking right now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then once it comes on, I'll call you and then we'll package this and see what we're gonna do.
All right. We'll do
Thank
it.
you both so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This
Bye-bye.
was fabulous.
Oh, lovely.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much.